The world we live in, it holds alien-like landscapes that we can hardly believe actually exist. These locations create wonders that seem to directly defy the laws of nature. They challenge human courage with paths that appear impossible to conquer. Sometimes they are built in the harshest environments, where common sense suggests nothing should survive. From dizzying heights to designs that border on madness. Today, we will explore the strangest places on Earth, locations so absurd they truly shouldn't exist. Hell, Turkmenistan. Located in the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan, this massive man-made sinkhole has been leaking burning methane gas for decades. The Soviet authorities deliberately set it on fire, hoping it would burn out on its own within a few weeks, but nobody knows for sure. To get here, you'll have to cross hundreds of kilometers of vast desert with no cell phone signal and not a soul in sight. As the sun sets amidst the eerie silence of the Karakum Desert, a blazing orange glow appears on the horizon. It's unlike any urban light. It's a primal and menacing light. This isn't just a fiery pit, it's a symbol of Soviet-era resource waste and of human adventure in facing hell. If I could go back, I'd still go down again, even if only to witness it one last time before it dies out. Would you dare? Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. If there's one place on Earth that makes people question whether they're still on the blue planet, it's the Danakil Depression. This region is not only one of the lowest places in the world, but is also known as the harshest place on the planet. Instead of the vibrant green of life, this place greets them with a surreal landscape of dazzling yellows and vibrant orange reds. Deep within lies a visual illusion of rising salt columns, bubbling acidic hot springs, and mineral formations resembling coral reefs on land. Behind this dazzling beauty lies a pungent, sulfurous smell and scorching heat, often hovering above 45 degrees Celsius. This is not a place to relax. This is a place to contemplate the extremes of nature. And this is definitely a journey for souls yearning for the primal, those who want to see the world in its most pristine and intense form. Devley, Namibia. To reach Devley, you must navigate deep shifting sand dunes, a challenge only four-wheel drive vehicles can handle. After walking about 1.1 kilometers, you'll find yourself in a pristine white clay basin, surrounded by the world's tallest, vibrant red sand dunes. The most haunting and captivating feature is the black, uncorroded tree trunks. It is a deadly, yet proud beauty, a testament to a time thousands of years ago when it was a lush green oasis. Be here at dawn to avoid the 40 degrees Celsius heat and catch the legendary golden light. Don't forget to bring high-top hiking boots to protect yourself from the hot sand and plenty of electrolyte water. And above all, walk slowly, because every step on this clay basin is like treading on the traces of millions of years of history. Socotra Island, Yemen. Nestled amidst the deep blue waters of the Indian Ocean, Socotra stands out unlike any other place. The first highlight upon arriving here is the Dragon's Blood tree on the Diksam Plateau. From a distance, they resemble giant, inverted umbrellas or enormous mushrooms rising from the barren limestone. Don't forget the walk on the pristine white sand dunes here, where the towering sands create an extreme visual contrast. Without luxury hotels or dazzling neon lights in Socotra, you have to get used to camping and bathing by freshwater streams. This place makes you realize that the lack of modern amenities is actually its unique characteristic. It forces people to reconnect with nature and learn to listen to the island's rhythm. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Yemen is an island in the Indian Ocean, famous for its unique, alien-like landscape and extraordinary biodiversity. Dubbed the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean, due to its large number of endemic species with nearly 700 plant species. Stepping out of the 4x4, they were surrounded by a dazzlingly pure white landscape. Beneath your feet is not sand, but a thick, dry, and cracked layer of salt, arranged by the hand of a great architect. During the dry season, the only sound is the crunching of salt crystals underfoot. If you're lucky enough to visit during the rainy season, you'll witness a spectacular phenomenon. It's a thin layer of water covering the salt flat turning the entire area into the planet's largest mirror. Chocolate Hills, Philippines. It is Bohol Island's most iconic landmark and a must-see destination for anyone exploring this spectacular land. It comprises over 1,200 conical hills stretching across numerous towns, creating a mesmerizing landscape. The most interesting thing that visitors realize is that the name Chocolate Hill didn't come about by chance. During the rainy season, the hills are covered in a lush green carpet of grass. However, when the dry season arrives from around January to May, that layer of grass withers and turns dark brown. From above, the more than 1,200 hills now look exactly like giant chocolate kiss candies placed on a vast green tray. To get the most panoramic view, you must overcome the challenge of climbing over 200 steps to the top of the observation deck. You should prepare a hat and jacket to protect yourself from the tropical sun, which can make you feel exhausted. Pamukkale, Turkey. In the Menderes River Valley, there's a wonder that makes anyone visiting for the first time rub their eyes in disbelief. With the Aegean sun shining brightly, that pristine white color isn't snow, but the result of millions of years of calcification. Before entering, you must remove your shoes, as this is a mandatory rule to protect the soft limestone formations. The higher you climb, the more surreal the Pamukkale landscape becomes, but what truly amazes visitors is not just the geology. Right at the top of those white steps lies the ruins of the ancient city of Hierapolis. You can immerse yourself in the crystal-clear water, swimming among the crumbling Corinthian columns at the bottom of the lake. Island of the Dolls, Mexico. It is a dark and eerie tourist spot, famous in the Xochimilco canals near Mexico City. This place is full of decaying dolls, hanging from the trees left behind by the previous caretaker. And the story behind the island is really sad, but also quite creepy. When you come here, you can walk around for 45 minutes to see the dolls and listen to the stories. Stepping deeper into the island, one feels a strange pressure. The dolls are no longer toys. They have been deformed by time, sun, wind, and mold into grotesque figures. Whether real or imaginary, the atmosphere here, thick with melancholy and sacredness, commands respect from everyone. Hand of the desert, Chile. In one of the driest places on Earth, the Atacama Desert, stands a colossal rock sculpture known as the Desert Hand. Behind the Desert Hand is Chilean sculptor Mario Irrazabal, who created La Mano del Desierto, or the Desert Hand, in 1992. Although this sculpture is located quite far from any populated area, it's not difficult to find. Most visitors start by going to the nearest town, Antofagasta, about 72 kilometers from the site. From Antofagasta, you can take a shuttle or taxi south, which will take you directly to La Mano del Desierto. However, please remember to show respect and do not damage the sculpture by drawing or writing graffiti on it. This way, others can continue to admire its beauty for many years to come. Lake Hillier, Australia. At just 600 meters long, it impresses not only with its size, but also with the diversity of life within it. Lake Hillier captivates with its pink hue, and moreover, it's situated right next to the Pacific Ocean. Therefore, if you look from above, the contrast between the soft pink of the lake and the blue of the ocean is striking. It was first discovered in 1802 by navigator and cartographer Matthew Flinders, who sampled it from the lake and noted its existence. The reason for its unique color, although most suspect, it's related to the presence of the microalgae Dunaliella salina. The pale pink color is less noticeable when viewed from the surface, but is very distinct when viewed from above. However, unlike other pink lakes around the world, the lake's water retains its distinctive pink color for several years. Sedlec Ossuary, Czech Republic. Just outside Prague, in a small town called Kutna Hora, lies the world-famous bone church, also known as the Sedlec Bone Church. This place has a very creepy connection inside the bone church, which has gold skull and crossbones decorations on the roof. It houses the remains of 70,000 people, and it's essentially a pile of bones that's been elaborately and exquisitely decorated. In the 14th century, the Black Death spread to Europe, killing many people. Many others died in battles, leading to so many people being buried in this cemetery that it began to become overcrowded. Gathered in the 1800s, each skeleton was stacked by a single woodcarver. These skeletons belong to people who wish to be buried in holy ground. Aokigahara Suicide Forest, Japan. Also known as Aokigahara Jukai, it is a dense forest located at the northwest foot of Mount Fuji. Spanning approximately 13.5 square miles, the forest is renowned for its natural beauty, formed from volcanic eruptions. Despite its peaceful appearance, Aokigahara is notorious as the suicide forest, where many have taken their own lives. It is surrounded by countless natural wonders, further enhancing its mystique and allure. Not only is the vegetation unusually dense, but some areas are so thick that even during heavy rain, you can't feel a single drop. Furthermore, the lava rocks give Aokigahara a strangely tranquil atmosphere. Combine that with the dense vegetation and trees, and you'll have a place that's eerily quiet, but also very easy to get lost in. Mono Lake, Tufa Towers, California. The first thing that catches your eye here isn't the water, but a space so silent you can hear the wind whistling through the rocks. The lake's surface is a deep blue, calm and smooth like a mirror, yet it has a salinity 2 to 3 times that of the ocean. These limestone formations rising from the water resemble abandoned fairy tale castles or giant coral reefs of a dried-up ocean. Formed entirely underwater when calcium-rich freshwater springs combine with carbonate-rich lake water. The lake is characterized by a slight sulfurous smell due to geological activity and bacteria, but you'll soon get used to it. These tufa poles are very fragile, so please walk on the marked trails to help preserve the beauty of this place. It's for souls seeking uniqueness a touch of solitude and admiration for the creative power of nature. Blood Falls, Antarctica. It's one of the most sought-after hiking trails, only allowing 64 people or 16 groups to hike each day. It can take years to obtain a permit to hike to this unique location. This is one of the unique trails that crosses rugged landscapes in both Utah and Arizona, on the way to the famous Wave Rock. The Wave Trail starts between Kanab, Utah and Page, Arizona, about an hour's drive from each. Also, if you're doing it in the summer, be sure to start early. Bring plenty of water, and temperatures here can reach hundreds of degrees. The Wave, Arizona, USA. The first impression upon seeing the rock formations is one of awe. The Navajo sandstone formations curve rhythmically like ribbons of silk, creating a visual effect despite their complete stillness. Depending on the time of day, the colors shift from burnt orange and vibrant red to pale pink and creamy yellow. The most beautiful moment is at midday, when the sunlight shines vertically, dispelling shadows and illuminating every corner. This place is the hardest to get to in the world, not because of the roads, but because of the entrance fee. The extremely strict lottery system for geological preservation makes holding that permit feel like winning the lottery. And there are no clear trails. You'll have to navigate using GPS and pictorial maps. Just a few missteps on the rocks, and you'll find yourself lost in the sweltering heat of the wilderness. Vinicunca Rainbow Mountain, Peru. Rainbow Mountain is a stunning natural destination located in the Andes Mountains of Peru. The mountain is named after the vibrant colors that adorn its slopes, ranging from red and pink to green, yellow, and blue. Rainbow Mountain is relatively accessible, making it a popular destination for tourists and hikers. If you are looking for tour links, please note this in the description below. This mountain is part of the Ayaditi mountain range areas that are sacred to the indigenous Khitan people. Believed to possess spiritual power, despite their long history, these colorful mountains were only recently discovered in 2013. Previously, they were completely covered in snow, but with the impact of climate change, the true color of the mountain has been revealed. The color is due to the different mineral compositions. Pink comes from red clay, mud sand, and limestone, rich in calcium carbonate. Prepare yourself to notice. A sudden change in air density makes breathing easier. Easter Island, Chile. The first thing you notice upon stepping off the plane at Mataveri Airport isn't the tropical heat, but an eerie silence. As the sun gradually rose behind the 15 colossal statues, their shadows stretched long across the ground. Walking among hundreds of unfinished statues, some buried deep in the ground, felt like being lost in a construction site of giants. Additionally, Anakina Beach is one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen, with its fine white sand. Don't come here if you're looking for the hustle and bustle of luxury resorts. Come with a curious mindset, good walking shoes, and a heart ready to be moved by ancient heritage. Death Valley, U.S. Death Valley is a geological depression located primarily in Inyo County, southeastern California, United States. This is the lowest, hottest, and driest part of the North American continent. Coming here means experiencing a walk across pristine white salt fields cracked into elongated hexagonal shapes. The white color of the salt contrasts sharply with the clear blue sky, creating a perfect backdrop for photography enthusiasts. Don't miss the sunrise here, as the first rays of light touch the undulating mountain ranges, illuminating the entire valley. The landscape here looks more like the surface of another planet than Earth. As the name suggests, the mountains here are pink, green, purple, and yellow due to the oxidation of the minerals. Despite its beauty, Death Valley is not a place to take risks. It offers some truly grueling experiences. At times, temperatures can reach nearly 50 degrees Celsius, feeling like a giant hairdryer is constantly blowing directly into your face. In areas like the Mesquite Flat sand dunes, if you stand still, you can hear your own heartbeat. There are no birdsong, no wind rustling through the leaves, just an eerie yet peaceful silence. Antelope Canyon, Arizona, USC. This world-famous narrow canyon is located near Page, Arizona, on Navajo tribal land. Renowned for its stunning wave-shaped sandstone formations and ethereal light, it is a highly photographed natural wonder. Here, it's divided into two most common areas, upper and lower, because they are very different. Upper Antelope Canyon is darker because the canyon's shape is narrower, and the canyon peaks are closer together, allowing less light to penetrate. The path below is wide and flat, making it relatively easy for people of all ages, including the elderly, who use canes to walk. Another difference is that lower gorge is V-shaped, so a lot of light comes in from above, illuminating the vibrant orange walls. The photos taken in Lower Canyon are far more impressive if you're looking for those vibrant colors, but the path is much narrower. Jeju Island, South Korea. This province, the smallest in the country, is located in the East China Sea, 100 kilometers southwest of South Jeolla Province. The island is composed of a volcanic core that rises symmetrically to the summit, stretching 64 kilometers from east to west. Standing on the rim of an extinct volcano, watching the sun rise from the ocean horizon is a spine-chilling experience. The climb up the stairs is easy, but the view is worth $1 million. Famous for Jongbang Waterfall, the only waterfall in Asia that flows directly into the sea. Standing at the foot of the waterfall, the fine spray of water in the gentle sunlight is incredibly refreshing. Along with fine white sand and turquoise seawater so clear, you can see the rocks at the bottom. Jeju is very large, and public transportation can sometimes involve long waits. It's best to go in spring or fall to avoid summer, as there are sometimes storms and high humidity. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Upon arriving in northern Tanzania, the first impression isn't the heat, but the colors. Lake Natron appears like a giant oil painting with shades of deep red, vibrant pink, and fiery orange. But don't let that beauty deceive you. This is one of the harshest lakes on the planet. The lake water here has a pH of up to 10.5 or 12, almost equivalent to ammonia or bleach. Don't touch the water without protection. It feels slippery like soap, but also burns. The most miraculous thing is that amidst this deadly environment, life still flourishes. Millions of birds gather here, creating a moving ribbon of pink against the vibrant red lake. They chose this place because enemies couldn't reach them through the alkaline mud, and they had special horny skin to protect themselves. Champagne Pool, New Zealand. Champagne Lake is a hot spring located in the Waitapu geothermal area on New Zealand's North Island. The name Champagne Lake comes from the continuous release of carbon dioxide gas, similar to a glass of sparkling champagne. The vibrant colors come from the rich deposition of minerals and silicates. Silicate structures around the rim of the lake contain a wealth of microorganisms. This hot spring was formed 900 years ago by a hydrothermal eruption, creating a crater 65 meters in diameter and 62 meters deep. The brightly colored water seeps up from the ground, filled with carbon dioxide that forms bubbles near the surface. Excess water from Lake Champlain flows into another geothermal lake called Artist's Palette, which is yellow due to sulfur deposits. From there, water flows through the silica mudflats to Primrose Sinister Terrace and down to Primrose Terrace, forming silica deposits. Eternal Flame, Falls, New York, USA. The journey begins at Shale Creek Park, with the first sensation being the tranquility of walking beneath the dense forest canopy. The path isn't too difficult, but be prepared for steep and slippery sections along the stream bed. The deeper we went, the clearer the sound of the flowing water became, and a faint, sulphurous smell began to linger in the air. When the waterfall appears, you'll see a truly surreal sight. Just behind the water, cascading down from a height of about 9 meters, is a small rock crevice. There, a golden-orange flame burns proudly amidst the moisture and splashing water. Standing between the contrast of the cold spring water and the warmth of the flame, I felt the wonder of geology. It wasn't magic, but it created an indescribable spiritual feeling. Sometimes strong winds or splashing water can extinguish a fire, so always carry a lighter in your pocket to rekindle hope. Fly Geyser, Nevada, USA. If you're expecting a pure natural wonder like the Grand Canyon, you're mistaken. Fly Geyser is actually a geological accident from 1964, when an energy company drilled a test well but failed to seal it properly. It was only when the pressure of the hot water erupted that minerals were deposited, forming these bizarre tower-like structures. The vibrant green, crimson, red, and orange-yellow hues aren't paint, but the life of thermophilic algae. Under the desert sun, these rock formations appear to be covered in shimmering velvet. Its shape resembles the giant mushroom mounds from a Dr. Seuss fantasy film. Water continuously gushes from multiple vents, creating a hazy mist that envelops the surrounding terraced pools. It's for souls who love to explore the unusual, those willing to cross the desert to admire a beautiful mistake of both man and nature. Spotted Lake Canada. The lake contains dense deposits of magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium sulfate. It also contains high concentrations of 8 other minerals and small amounts of silver and titanium. Most of the lake's water evaporates during the summer, revealing layers of colorful minerals. Large streaks appear on the lake and are colored according to the mineral composition and seasonal rainfall. In the summer, the remaining minerals in the lake harden, forming natural pathways around and between the streaks. For the locals, each spot of water has its own healing properties. Even from a distance, the tranquility of the Similkameen Valley made me feel a strong connection to the land and its millennia-old history. Don't forget a zoom lens or binoculars. You'll need them to clearly see the sparkling mineral crystals in the sunlight. If you love places that are unusual and away from the crowds, Spotted Lake should definitely be on your must-visit list in Canada. Stelvio Pass, Italy. It is a famous mountain pass in the Italian Alps, renowned as the highest paved pass in Italy at an altitude of 2,757 meters. It connects the Valtellina Valley in Lombardy with Val Venosta in South Tyrol near the Swiss border. The real challenge begins on the eastern side with a total of 48 curves numbered in reverse order towards the top. Driving here is a skill-based test at every corner. You have to shift to a low gear brake, hard steer as fast as you can, and pray that no car comes from the opposite direction. To get here, you have to travel through lush green pine forests. When you reach the summit of the pass and look back down the curves you've just navigated, look like a giant coiled snake. That's when you realize why Top Gear once called this the world's greatest driving route. Bayburtov Road, Turkey. Connecting Bayburt and Trabzon district is considered one of the most dangerous roads in the world. In addition, there are a total of 2938 hairpin turns, with the classic section being Derabasha Virajlara, 1317 extremely sharp turns. Every time you go around a corner, you have to shift to a very low gear and constantly check your rearview mirror for fear of oncoming traffic. The route features unpaved, gravelly sections that turn oil slick in the rain, often coupled with visibility-killing thick fog. Plan your trip for July or August. In winter and spring, this path is usually closed due to ice and snow. Many call it the Highway to Hell or Turkish Death Road, and it was even once voted the most dangerous road in the world. Actually, with enough experience and a stress-free schedule on a fine day, this drive is perfectly manageable. Los Caracoles Pass, Chile. Often known by its colloquial yet haunting name, Los Caracoles Pass, It lies between the borders of Chile and Argentina. As the vehicle began to enter the Andes from the Chilean side, the first feeling wasn't fear, but awe. Before you lies a gigantic asphalt staircase, winding its way up the sheer cliff face in the middle of unreal places. Why the name the Snail? Because from a bird's eye view, the series of hairpin turns looks exactly like the whirls of a giant snail. The summit of the pass is located at approximately 3,200 meters above sea level. The air thins, the car engine begins to roar more heavily, and your heart races. On the Chilean side, there are 29 consecutive hairpin turns characterized by a lack of protective barriers. A single error could lead to, you know. Zojila Pass, India. A vital mountain pass situated at a high altitude in the Himalayas of India, connecting the Kashmir Valley with Leh. Famous for its narrow, treacherous roads and spectacular views of snow-capped peaks and valleys. This route is usually closed in winter due to heavy snowfall, but the Department of Highways has extended its opening hours. Mostly dirt roads, gravelly and uneven, barely wide enough for a truck and a car to squeeze past each other. On one side is a sheer cliff, on the other, a bottomless abyss. Only white clouds and occasionally glaciers are visible. A minor landslide left the road covered in fresh rubble. It feels like off-roading instead of being on the highway. Travelers with a fear of heights or a tendency for motion sickness are advised to take a direct flight to Leh instead of traveling by land. Guoliang Tunnel Road, China. As the vehicle begins to enter the Taihang Mountains, the first sensation that overwhelms you is one of awe. Before you lies a colossal limestone wall hundreds of meters high. The Guoliang Tunnel looks like a long, winding crack carved right through the side of the sheer cliff. The tunnel here is only about 5 meters high and 4 meters wide. If two cars were traveling in opposite directions, it would truly be a test of driving skill. The Guoliang Tunnel is not just a driving challenge, but also an emotional journey. You will go from fear and anxiety to overwhelming admiration for the extraordinary labor of humankind. Passage du Gois, France. Located in Vendée, France, it connects the mainland to the island of Noirmoutier and is approximately 4.2 kilometers long. Usually, it just looks like a normal stone road with seawater on both sides and some fishing boats leaning to one side. What's amazing is that it sinks underwater twice a day during high tide. With the water rising 1 to 4 meters, the road vanishes entirely. This makes the road slippery, especially if you're riding a motorbike or bicycle. Furthermore, if you get the timing wrong, the rising tide will cause your car to break down halfway through. It's true there are life rafts you can climb, but who wants to spend time sitting precariously just waiting for the water to recede? Adding to the anxiety is the thick fog or strong winds here, with visibility practically zero. For those who enjoy thrill-seeking and want to experience something different from mountains or deserts, this is a must-visit destination. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. Known as the Death Road, this notoriously dangerous 64-kilometer route connects La Paz and the Yungas region. Its narrow path and precipitous cliffs led to hundreds of deaths each year before a safer alternative was made available. Along with the dizzying height, one side is a sheer cliff, the other a bottomless abyss up to 600 meters deep. Just a few centimeters off the steering wheel, and you will become part of this place's tragic history. There are sections of road that are only about 3 meters wide, just enough for a truck to pass through in unreal places. You might ask yourself, if there's an oncoming vehicle, where will I go to avoid it? Taroko Gorge Road, Taiwan. Officially known as a section of National Highway 8, it is a stunning scenic route within Karakum National Park in eastern Taiwan. Famous for its majestic marble cliffs, winding river, and breathtaking scenery. Many stretches are so narrow that two cars meeting must either edge right up against the cliff or pull into a rocky niche to make room. The road has dozens of tunnels of varying lengths, many without streetlights. If you drive in, it's pitch black. All you can see is your own headlights and the hope that no oncoming car has broken high beams. Small stones may tumble here in the dry season, but heavy summer downpours can dislodge enormous rocks. Inexperienced with mountain roads, avoid driving yourself. Stick to tour buses or local drivers for better safety. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. If there's one place where car insurance companies will immediately reject you, it's here. This road isn't for the faint of heart or the dreamy driver. As soon as you enter the canyon, the paved road disappears, replaced by a slippery, dusty gravel surface. On one side is a sheer cliff, on the other, a chasm hundreds of meters deep, leading straight down to the emerald green shot of a river. The challenge narrow, single-lane cliff roads. Encountering another car requires a perilous 100-meter reverse to the nearest turnout. The highlight of the journey is the Skipper's Suspension Bridge, completed in 1901. At nearly 100 meters above the water, the gentle swaying of the bridge makes anyone hold their breath. Fairy Meadows Road, Pakistan, a notoriously narrow, unpaved, and dangerous 16-kilometer jeep trail runs from Raikot Bridge to Tato village. This trail leads to the stunning Fairy Meadows and the summit of Nanga Parbat, accessible only by a local 4x4 vehicles. It offers breathtaking scenery, but requires skillful driving on the steep roads. My heart pounded every time the car bounced over potholes and every time I had to swerve sharply to avoid falling rocks. Despite the rumors, jeep accidents or cliff falls are actually quite rare. But once inside the vehicle, the feeling of danger is extremely real. Is it worth it? Absolutely, if you crave real adventure. Just don't drive yourself, trust the local drivers, and stick to the official jeeps. Northern Explorer, New Zealand. This isn't a fast-paced, high-speed train ride. It's a leisurely stroll through the heart of the North Island. As the train enters the Central Highlands, the scenery changes dramatically from lush green meadows to a wild, untamed landscape. You'll see the stern of your own train at a different height amidst unreal places. It's like a brainy game by 20th century engineers, transforming the dangers of the terrain into a graceful dance on the tracks. This trip isn't for those with a severe fear of heights, especially if you look straight down as the train crosses viaducts like the Macoheen. The ship glided over massive steel bridges below which lay bottomless ravines and a raging river.